What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 48 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi.
Ali Aintrazi.
That's right.
What's up?
That's you.
What's up?
Were you saying what's up to yourself? What's up, Ali? I'm doing great.
What's up, Ali?
I'm doing okay.
I'm doing okay.
All right. Excellent. I'm doing very well because over the last weekend, I was at SCGCon. And a lot of you that were listening, a surprising number of you were also at SCGCon. I think I met probably about 15 people that listen to the podcast, which is by far the most at any event that I've gone to. And every single one of you, when you told me that you listened to the podcast, obviously I could not hide my reaction. Like that was like the best thing I heard all weekend. Because I had a lot of people come up to me and talk about Commander versus, but like when I heard people talk about the podcast, it was just that was like really special.
It's awesome.
Special, and Ollie, you don't even know this, I don't think.
What
I'm going to send it to you because I want to get your actual reaction on the show.
Okay.
But one of our listeners, William Johnson, actually got his wife to make him a Thinktwice shirt that has our logo on the front and bolus horns on the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took a selfie with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you the picture. I'll send you the picture afterwards.
Afterwards, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was waiting for the picture, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yes,
that's sweet.
It is super awesome.
Dedication.
I spotted him when I was doing one of my panels, and I like jumped up and like pointed at him while I was doing it. So it was great. It was great. I had a great time. Got to play a lot of Commander. Beat a lot of our listeners in Commander. I played in
with your mono black deck.
I did. I played 9 pods. I played 9 4-man pods.
Yeah, dang, that's a lot of Commander.
It was a lot of Commander. I played 2 on 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then 6 on Sunday. Played a lot on Sunday. And
did you ever burn out?
No. I was a little at the end of Saturday. I was a little frustrated, but not Commander related. But I'll get to that in a second. So that one was tough because I was like, okay, like it's time. Like I don't think I can play any more Magic. But no, outside of that, like the rest of it was great. I went 6-3. I won 6 of the games. Only lost 3 of them, establishing my Commander dominance. I played
your prowess. Your Commander prowess.
Exactly. I played with Yeheni 6 times. That was the deck that people wanted me to play the most.
Okay.
Now,
because they know you for Yeheni. I guess.
Yeah. They know me for Mono Black for sure. Now, of course, with that, they got the beat down. They got the Yeheni beat down most of the time.
I've seen Yeheni in action.
Yeah, it's serious. I played Uloshed 2 times. Went 1-1 with Uloshed. Went 4-2 with Yeheni. 1-1 with Uloshed, and then played Dragonlord Ojutai 1 time, and then just demolished everyone. And then that deck didn't come back out.
With Ojutai?
I actually ended up not casting Ojutai in that match, but it was just like someone was playing Muldrotha.
Ooh, that's spicy.
And he was playing like Stacks Muldrotha. So he played like a turn 4 Winter Orb. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to play. I got like Azusa and Ramunap Excavator. I'm going to play all these things. And I was like, well, little did he know that I have a lot of artifact mana in my deck. I hadn't played much of it out yet. But then I started to.
Oh, God.
And then I was untapping all of my mana sources, and no one else was. And then like 2 turns later, I played a Royal Elemental. And started taking all of his Azusa and Excavator. Yeah. It got out of hand immediately. I even ended up copying his Winter Orb with my Clever Impersonator.
Oh, it's insured.
Because I played it, and people were like, oh, you're going to take this? And I was like, no, I'm going to take this Winter Orb, so when I kill him, this will stick around.
Ooh.
And then I killed him. And I was like, thanks to the Winter Orb, buddy. I'm going to get this forever.
My God. Oh, my God.
So.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Like,
yeah.
I think it's fair to play a card that's not in your deck.
Yeah, he brought it. He brought it to the party. Okay.
Yeah, you just took a sample.
Exactly. Yeah, it was brutal. It was not quite as brutal as my Invitational. So I played in the Invitational, and I was doing extremely well. I was 6-2 at the end of day one, and going into the standard portion of day two, which is the last 4 rounds, I was actually 9-3. I went 3-1 in each of the sections, so I was 9-3 going in. And you know how we talked about last week? We talked about the Pro Tour, and that just red was everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I played on day one. I played mono red twice. I went 1-1 with it. The match I lost would never happen again. I would never lose that game in a million years ever again, unless the exact same number of draws happen. But either way. And then I played against, I played mono red twice, and then I played against Esper Control twice. Beat it twice. Going into day two, standard, I played Esper Control 3 more times, and then a black-white Knights mid-range deck once. So I played Esper Control 5 times, played red 2 times, and that was it.
You played Wrap It Up, right?
Played Wrap It Up, yeah. Hashtag Wrap It Up. They were the Nick Miller, who does the sideboard coverage, was talking to me on Saturday night. He was like, I'll get you in there for the sideboard for your deck. And I was like, that's fine, Nick, as long as you can promise me that we call the deck Wrap It Up every 25 seconds during the segment. He's like, I'm not going to do that. I was like, well, I'm going to do it. It's like, so if you put me in there and give me a deck tech, I'm going to say hashtag Wrap It Up as many chances as I get.
Oh,
and he was like, no, you won't. I was like, no, I'm completely serious. I was like, I'm going to say hashtag Wrap It Up, and you're not going to be able to stop me. So he needless to say, the next morning he's like, so I thought about it, and I'm definitely not going to give you a deck tech. I was like, that's fine.
That's a shame.
But then in day two, in the standard part of day two, I basically pooped my pants, or my deck did, because Esper Control, not what the deck was built around to beat.
To beat, yeah.
And went.
Where'd that come from? Where did Esper Control even come from?
Dude, I don't know, but it was the only thing I played. I was like, where are the red decks? They're all around me, but never in front of me.
Oh my god! Yeah.
In game 3 of day 1, in the match that I lost, my opponent goes turn 1 Duress, takes a Vraska's Contempt. Okay. Turn 2 Duress, takes a Vraska's Contempt. Okay.
Game 1?
No, the game 3.
Oh, let's say Jesus.
Maybe I said game 1. Game 3. In game 3, he's on the play because I won game 2. Yeah. I have no black sources in my hand, so after that, I cycle a cast out to try to hit a black source, then I hit 2 in a row. I hit Isolated Chapel, then untap and get Isolated Chapel. And on turn 4, well, that was turn 2 and turn 3 for him. And sure. I have 4 removal spells in my hand. I have a Seal Away, I have a Cast Down, I have a Subtler Wreckage, and something else. So like some other removal spell.
Sure.
And then he plays Chandra, which I have no answer to.
This is Grixis? What is this?
This is Mono Red.
Oh, Mono Red. Okay,
he played no creatures.
Oh my god.
The entire game. Until the last and he killed me with 4 activations because he got Chandra's Emblem and then cast 4 spells. The last spell he cast was a creature. It was like a Soulscar Mage.
So it was, it was black.
And literally, I died with like 5 creature removal spells in my hand.
Yeah, so
it's like if he just has, instead of having Chandra, has any creature in his deck, the game is not remotely close and he's dead. Now, alternatively, if I don't cycle Cast Out, I also win that game going away. Yeah. But so that was rough, and of course, I got 65th place in the Invitational, which is one outside of prize.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's rough.
It was rough, but ultimately, I had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah. I was also living on Rough McGruff.
Yeah.
Chicago, Illinois.
60652.
But I was not helping take Biocrime. Yeah, this past weekend's been rough for me as well. Not Magic-wise, but I was not as G-Con. I was working and also going through a breakup, which was my girlfriend Amberly with we've been together for about 5 years, I would say.
4.5, almost exactly.
Yeah. So been doing that. That's pretty rough. Process like moving out. Also telling the kids. It's. I've never had to break up before where kids were involved. I guess
it affected other people.
Yeah, and it's like I know I'll be okay in the long run, but like 5 years is long. 4.5 years, 5 years, whatever. It's a long time.
Yeah, it is
for our age, and
yeah, I mean that's a sixth of your life.
Yeah, it is, and also when you actually start dating, like 20s, so it's like actually like half my life, I would say, like actually date, because like when you're a teenager, you're dating, but it's like it's not real. No offense to anybody, but like it's not real until like I think your 20s when you can like move in and.
I don't know if I want to say that, but I think
not real, but okay.
You don't have as many factors to concern yourself with, so it's difficult to have as much real life substance when you're dating at a young age, because that doesn't mean that it means less, but there's certainly a lot more to think about the older you get.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we lived together for
four of
basically
the
4 years. Yeah. Yeah, so it's rough. It's still rough, but I've gotten some support, some messages from 2 messages from you guys. Those have been nice. There was a lot of debate of me even doing the podcast this week. I thought about taking it off, but I enjoy doing it with Justin.
All I want to do it for you guys. He's like, no, my Thinktwice supporters, they need me.
And I'll be honest, and for myself, just try to keep my mind busy and doing something and trying not to think about it, because I'm sure you guys know how it is when you think about it. It's just like it's miserable. So yeah, I'm doing that. Hopefully, time heals quickly. I'm not sure what else to say because
it's
nothing else to say.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people listening have gone through something similar or exact.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In the past, so
oh man,
that's kind of one thing that almost everyone can relate to. Yeah.
So I've been like pouring a lot of my energy into Maggie, Maggie's my wiener dog, my baby wiener dog. She's like 3 months old almost. She's been helping a lot, very therapeutic. And yesterday, I had taken a nap. I moved most of my stuff to my parents' place for. I'm gonna be here for a couple months before I move out. But so I'm here for now. I brought Maggie with me. I took a nap, and I guess Maggie had gone down off her new Dodge ramp. So Dodge ramp, it's like a Dawson ramp. It's funny, but anyway, she got down, and she's like running around or whatever. I wake up, I'm looking for her because I want to cuddle with her. I'm like Maggie. And usually she comes running. After the like the 5th or 6th time I say Maggie, and I don't hear her. I start panicking, I was like, Mom, Dad.
Oh my God, she's ran out of the house and a hawk just picked her up.
Yeah, like, where's Maggie, guys? And so we all start running around looking for her. We can't find her. I start panicking for real. I'm like, oh my God, I can't lose Maggie right now. I need her. So then I go in the front yard, I can't find her. And then I go back. Then I go in the backyard and I start calling it's like, did you put her outside? They're like, no. But I call her. I hear a little like bark and whine. And I start running that way. I call her again, and I find her. She's outside. Apparently she followed my dad outside when he was taking the trash. And thank Allah, God, whoever you pray to, Nicobolus, whatever, Erebos, Crufix, whatever, that she went in the backyard that was fenced in. Because if he had gone in the front yard,
she could have wandered off.
And or God forbid, a car or anything like. So I was upset and shook and relieved all at the same time. It was a weird mix of emotions, and I was like, I don't know. It basically showed how much I'm attached to this little tiny dog because of everything that's going around me. So, that's that story.
Well, I'm glad that Maggie is safe, because I don't think that our Animal Lover Discord channel would be the same without weekly Maggie pictures.
Yeah, without all these animal pictures, without Maggie pictures, plus all our listeners' pictures. So yeah.
That's right. we have one more thing before we get. This is obviously a long intro, but we had a lot going on this week.
Yeah, it's a unique week. It's a unique week
for sure. But we do want to talk about question of the week last week, and I gotta be honest. I'm shocked that you won this one. Okay. I'm shocked. After so many bad standard Pro Tours, do you think we're going to have more non-standard Pro Tours going forward, like Modern? And you said yes, because you're like, well, yeah, people like Modern, people enjoying watching that. I said no, because I just didn't think that. I don't think it's realistic to ask for that. And you won with 45% of the vote. I only got 41 actually, 41% to your 45%.
It's still insanely close. 4% difference isn't a huge gap. And
no, but this is one of the questions of the week that I feel the strongest about. Like, I would bet a lot of money that I'm right for this one. Yeah. Now that being said, I hope you are right. I definitely hope that you're right. I would rather see other formats other than standard. Personally, I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think what it is it's Ali Crewfix followers voting for me. So
you think that's what it is? I thought we each had a 5% stronghold.
No, I have more now.
Yeah, okay. It's grown.
The Crewfix.
It's grown over
the
last
Crewfix.
Week.
Yeah, the Crewfix Legion is growing.
Well, the Crewfix Legion and all of the other legions, like the Erebos Legion, we want to thank you for listening. If you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, or Stitcher, please, if you can find in your heart to take 30 seconds out of your long and very hard day or week to leave us a review or a comment or a like or a share or a subscribe on one of these platforms. Those type of things really help us out and really help expand the reach of the podcast. Obviously, the more earballs that we have listening, the better it is for us. Since Ali is kind of in transit with moving, and it's not like my setup is too great looking anyway with all my housing stuff that you guys know about. Obviously, we're not on YouTube this week; it's audio only. But we'll try to right the ship soon. But we would appreciate if you guys left us a review, and thank you very, very much to those of you that have. You guys keep doing it every week, and it is fantastic. We just want to get our name out there, and you guys are a big part of helping us do that.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break and come back with our first segment. Ollie and I are going to talk about Magic the Gathering coverage and what we want. This has been a pretty hot topic recently. We've had
like a hot tamale or like spicy hot.
That's exactly the same thing.
Okay, like a hot dog that's hot because temperature wise, or a hot tamale.
Like a hot dog that's hot.
Like if you hold it, it's gonna burn your hand.
Yeah, if you get too close. I imagine how when someone casts Approach to the Second Sun the second time and you get too close to the sun, like that.
Oh,
it's just hot.
Like Icarus. Like Icarus. Your wings burn out.
Flew too close to the sun. It's too hot for you. So Magic coverage has been something that kind of has been in the mind's eye of the community lately, because not only have we had.
I'll pay one and draw a card.
No, I didn't draw a card. You can't just pay one and just draw. I have to do something first. God, get the rules right. Get the rules right.
I'm floating one.
Well,
I'm waiting.
Anyway, with the Pro Tour happening and a new set getting ready to come out, which means that people are going to be watching Grand Prix more frequently, and of course, weekly SCG coverage. People have been talking a lot about what they want with Magic coverage, whether that be from a gameplay standpoint, whether it be from a commentator standpoint, whether it be from a advertising standpoint. And all of these are factors that kind of go into balancing providing coverage. And they're all, I mean, like, even obviously the advertising and commercial part, is the part that people like the least, but also, you know, that's what
fuels.
That's what allows it to happen.
Right.
I don't know, Ollie. Is there a particular spot you want to start with, or do you want me to start?
No, I'll start with one. One thing that bothers me, I think Star City actually does a good job with this, like 90% of the time. But there's times where I guess they falter too. But this is mostly Wizards coverage.
Okay.
It's when a judge is called. Judge is called for a ruling. Judge is called for whatever. For whatever reason, they decide to focus in on that match, the judge on the table, and you can hear the players talking. You can hear them talking about what rules going down, what the judge is saying, and it's like, I don't think that's appropriate. Like, you are basically inviting the chat to engage on something that they should not be engaged on. Like, no offense. No, actually, take all offense you want. The Twitch chat is on average, pretty toxic. So if you give them a little fuel, a little fire, they're going to take it and they're going to like run with it. There's a reason Twitch chat aren't judges. Like,
the common phrase everyone knows, there's a reason that Twitch chat aren't judges.
Oh my god! Like, anything happens, like ban, cheater, hacks, ban, kick out. Like, it's like, guys, there's people that are getting paid to do this. Let them do it. We shouldn't see any of that. It's like Star City or any company showing us their background work, how much you get paid, how much inventory you open and stock, blah blah. Like, this is not important. This is not what you need to see. This is not what you're here for.
Judge calls are a behind the curtain type thing.
Yes, exactly. Leave them behind the curtain. They're not supposed to. The players aren't here for the judge calls. They're here for the gameplay. You give them the judge calls. It's basically you're giving them fuel and information that one, they don't need, and two, that if they have, they will 90% of the time be toxic with. Like, they don't need it. Like, it's fine, I think, at the end of it to be like, okay, this is what the judge was called for, and this is the outcome. I think it's okay, because people may want to know, but don't stand there and hover and like let us hear everything that's going on. Like, the chat doesn't need that.
Yeah, I agree, and I have a slightly different take. And you do kind of allude to it about, not showing what's behind the curtain. Oftentimes, judge calls are not. They're not like one player versus the other player, but it always looks like that when you see that from afar. Like, when a player calls a judge, you're like, uh-oh, someone did something that the other person didn't like, or they, like something nefarious is going on. But oftentimes that's not the case. Like, usually it's just there was some miscommunication about something that happened, and we just want clarification. We basically just, like, oftentimes, like, when I call a judge, my opponent and I disagree on something, and we both are just like, let's just call a judge, and whatever the judge decides, that's how it'll be, and we'll just keep playing on from that. And
I think now there's good.
And usually it's like, okay, that's fine. We both agree on that, and there's not going to be any other issues, and we're going to get our 1 minute time extension and then go through the other match. Go ahead, Ali.
That's fine. I was just going to say, as a small tangent, like, I think people are scared to call judges now because they think it's like a bad thing, and that's not the case at all. Like, call exactly what you said. Like, if there's a small discrepancy or you need something to fix.
Anytime
that's what judges
that
for.
my opponent and I are not exactly on the same page, I'm just going to call a judge. Just be like, here, that's what they're here for. You guys help us fix this game state, and we'll just keep on from there. Like, it's.
Yeah, I agree.
But oftentimes, especially, like, people can look like the bad guy when they're calling the judge, because it looks like they're trying to, like, get one over on their opponent, or vice versa. It looks like the person who's getting the judge called on them. And I'm using air quotes around that, but called on them, like, did something wrong. And when you see that on coverage, it's really easy to kind of create that narrative in your head, and it's just it's wholly unnecessary.
And all it takes is one person to say something like,
There's going to be a fire starter.
And a snowball thing. Yeah, basically, man, the hive mind of Twitch chat and other things like that is a snowball effect. Like, someone says something, someone else says something, and then all of a sudden you have like 50 people saying the same thing, and it's just, and then it goes on Twitter, and it's like, it's not even true at all. Like, guys, just
and honestly, even more so than that, and obviously, Ollie, you've been a victim of this before. Like
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, like I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not trying to like dance around this topic. Um,
No, don't dance around it.
but
Bring it.
you've been someone
Bring
that's
a light.
been like on coverage that has been like a part of a judge call, and you are made to look like the bad guy, regardless of whether you are or not is not the point, right?
Yes.
Like ultimately, like whether someone did something wrong or not. I don't know. It's really easy for usually somebody gets ganged up on, and
It's very easy, especially on like because here's the thing: if a judge call happens off camera, okay, like it might like people might hear about it or like players hear about it, and it's like people might think, oh, this is bad, this is good. He's right. I'm on their side. I'm on the other side. But the thing is, like, what's on camera, and you show it, and then you tell people what it's about. Like, you are telling, like, more. It's out there now. It's on the internet. When something's on the internet, everyone knows about it, and more people take sides. Stories will be escalated. Things will get stretched out, like be far fetched. Like a more recent experience, I would say, is like not necessarily for me, but like for Zach Elsick. He had something happen
at the SCG Con Invitational. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was, I think it's like three missteps here and there about judges and stuff, and it's just like, if people are calling like some are even daring to call him a cheater or trying to angle shoot or whatever, and it's like, holy crap, like this guy has played thousands and thousands and thousands of matches of Magic. Like, mistakes are gonna happen, and when you're playing hours and hours of Magic, like you're gonna get burnt out, especially when it's like day 3 or day 2 or whatever. Like, people need to.
Magic is really hard.
Relax.
It doesn't matter how good you are; it's really easy to make a mistake, like stupid mistakes. And
it is like it's very easy, and like I don't know what is that. I don't know.
Anyway, I don't want to tangent on.
Yeah, I don't
kind of want to
get
get back
right.
to coverage.
Go ahead.
I just don't think from a coverage perspective, people, like you said, people aren't here to watch that.
I agreed.
That no one wants to see.
They also don't need it.
Calls. This is not.
They probably do want to see it. I think some people don't want to see it. But I think there's people that people love drama.
Dude, I think a lot of people that comment in the chat want to see it, but I think that's like 10% of the chat. I think the other 90% does not.
All right.
And
I agree with you.
10% number.
Right. Well, I think there's a percentage. I agree with you, but I'm saying like there's some number out there.
My biggest thing for coverage that I want, and this is more kind of an overarching, because I don't like, honestly, for this conversation, like I don't care to differentiate between like Channel Fireball / Wizards coverage and Star City Games coverage, because obviously I work for Star City Games, so even if I tell you that I'm unbiased, because like my job doesn't interact with that at all. Like I have absolutely nothing to do with that. I know the people that do closely, but either way, I kind of want to talk about coverage as a whole.
Sure.
And this is something that I think needs to improve across all coverage, is inclusivity on people that are not Magic players. And I've talked about this before, that have the ability to watch and understand coverage. Magic already is at a disadvantage because it's such a complex game, and it's tough for somebody to just jump in if they're kind of going through Twitch and they're like, oh, Magic the Gathering Pro Tour's got 35,000 viewers. Well, let me see what's going on here. And they jump in. If the first thing they say is, if they start like slinging around like Magic lingo, like if someone's like, oh, and this doesn't really happen, I'm going to use an extreme example. And he's like, oh, that bob flip was Dece plus. People are just going to be like, what is going on? There's like no visual clues, or anything that could tell you what is happening. And if you watch that, if it's like 30 seconds of that could be it. Like that could be all of your Magic involvement. Now, my closest involvement with this is the last several Pro Tours, I've watched the top 8 with my girlfriend Meredith. I love watching Pro Tours top 8, which I've talked about multiple times on the podcast. and she's kind of got into watching it too, and it's kind of fun for her because she remembers like the last one. That's really the only other time that I watch coverage with her, just because it's like, she's not really going to be into that. But for Pro Tour Top 8, it is something important, and the quality of the broadcast has gone up significantly, especially from several years ago.
Of course.
But I want her to be able to follow along with me, despite the fact that I know more of what's going on. But it's not my job to explain that. It is the commentator's job to explain that. And I'm not saying that should be the thing that they have to focus on 100% of the time, but that does need to be the overarching thing.
No, I agree with that. Actually, I think it'd be cool, maybe possibly in the future, if you get a program like Magic Arena, to showcase the top 8, where where that's the gameplay you see is the online thing. New viewers or people just tuning in will understand. Will kind of get the point of seeing life totals change, see dragons breathing fire, see monsters attacking monsters. They'll kind of understand a little bit. And also, like, there's a lot less room for error, for like gameplay error. Like, there's a lot someone can't forget a trigger as easily.
Sure,
etc.
I guess
etc.
I'm more talking about like coverage itself from the people that are creating the coverage. To make it engaging for everybody. And I do think what you're saying helps, because it kind of removes it removes some of the things that hurts Magic.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, a creature tapping and then the opponent's life total dropping doesn't really make sense, but seeing a creature fly or whatever attack someone's face.
Well, and not only that, like it also offers consistency. Everyone has their deck on the same side. Everyone taps their lands all the same way.
Yes.
Yes. Everything is placed in the same spot. But even beyond that, like, okay, I have a short story to tell. So 2 or 3 years, probably 3 years ago, I was watching coverage of like PAX East, right? And during this coverage, the reason I was watching the coverage is because they were showing off some new Magic products at PAX. So I had like the Magic panel where they showed off this or that, and then that ends, and I'm still on the PAX East stream. And the next thing that comes on after the Magic panel was the Rocket League World Championship. I assume a lot of listeners are familiar with Rocket League, and you probably are too.
No, I have no idea what Rocket League is.
Rocket League? Okay, yeah, sure, which is great then. So Rocket League is a game where it's kind of like, it's basically like soccer, except you're in a little rocket that's zooming around the field.
Okay.
And the gravity mechanics in this game are insane. Like, they're very realistic as far as like where the ball goes when you hit it, like how fast you go and like how far you fly, like when you use your boost. And it's an amazing game to watch. Like, it's like, at this point, this is 3 years now. This is probably like my favorite game to just watch played at high level. And in fact, they actually just showed like the highlight from this year's, I think, like some sort of tournament on like ESPN.
Oh wow!
Because it was so amazing. But anyway, this came on right after the Magic panel, and I'd never heard of this game, but they just started playing it, and the game itself and the commentators were so engaging, and they made it exciting that
you stayed.
I stayed and watched the entire thing. I don't think a single person, and I mean like zero, has decided to play Magic after stumbling onto coverage.
Yeah, and
I don't think any of those people exist, and that is a huge
problem.
Huge problem.
Absolutely.
If we're going into the era of esports, and Magic itself, Wizards is now starting to use that term of esports as a market they want to go into, they're starting with literal zero. They have no one that has latched onto their product from watching their esports product.
It's just too hard to get. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
And it's frustrating because
like even League of Legends or games like that, like you might understand.
You've played or like turned on a League of Legends stream like when I was at your house, and I was like, I don't know anything about this game, but this is fun to watch.
Yeah,
like I'm engaged in this.
I think, and that's honestly, I do think, MTG Arena is the pathway to go, because Magic Online is the same thing. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's the same as paper.
I actually think Magic Online is worse than Paper
Yeah,
Magic.
yeah.
There's zero personality.
Yes. I honestly think Arena is the way to go if they make it better for like tournament play somehow. Like it's still in beta, obviously. It's so long way to go, but seeing things like and people love seeing action, seeing the screen shake or things move. Like
Yeah.
it's engaging.
I do, and I've played Magic for almost 20 years. I still don't see that.
Like your eyeballs. You say eyeballs, but your eyeballs like are attracted to that. Like when something like you understand what's going on. Almost. So
yeah.
I think that is
not only that, but it's I mean, this is also a proven model.
I
mean, Hearthstone does.
Yeah,
this.
yeah, exactly. And, exactly. And Hearthstone is
they have no viewership issues
whatsoever
at all.
Yeah,
ever.
Their top viewer on Hearthstone has more viewers than any Pro Tour ever. Like, and that's just one person.
Yeah.
Like, there's still the next person has like 6,000 or whatever.
There was a guy streaming on Sunday, the Sunday of the Pro Tour Top 8, that just casually just playing ladder, not even in a tournament, just on ladder, just had more viewers than the Pro Tour.
Yeah, dude.
What? That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Magic exists so Hearthstone can exist. Hearthstone wouldn't exist without Magic, and yet a guy. Now, obviously, this is a popular streamer. Name is irrelevant, but point being, a singular person who is playing in a non-critical
event,
a non-critical stream, is just playing the game.
It has more
That's like if I was just playing Arena, just playing ladder.
And it has more viewers than your top level.
It has more viewers than the most important one of the 4 most important tournaments of the entire year.
Yeah, absolutely.
With $40,000.
Yeah, online. Yeah.
I mean, more than that, but $40,000. The first place winner gets $40,000.
Right. Still.
So, yeah, it's I don't know. That's not good.
No, I agree with that.
All right, so I talked about commercials, and that's I know been a hot topic. And our director, John Choi, used to be a director of Star City Games, so I'm going to try to tread carefully because I know he has very strong opinions, and he's a lot smarter than both of us on this specific topic because he is a little professional in this field. Commercials, no one wants commercials. No one. I promise you that the viewers obviously don't want commercials. No one wants to have to do commercials, but that's how things are paid for, so you can watch the stream. For better or worse. Are there ways to move commercials around so they're not as intrusive in your watching Magic? Of course. And that still needs to be figured out. I think the problem some people have is like, it's like, hey, I have Twitch Prime, whatever. I've subscribed to your SCG or Wizards or whatever, and I'm already giving you money. Stop showing. Yeah, and I still see commercials. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's a fair take. But how do you not do that? Like, No, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But that's the thing. I'm saying, like, the people that say that, I actually agree. I would pay, like, I'll put it this way. You have Netflix, obviously. Yeah. Do you have Hulu? No. Ollie? All right. Well, Hulu is similar to Netflix, except there's commercials. You can pay for a non-ad version of Hulu that has no commercials. But let me tell you, that commercial version of Hulu is the worst. It was awful. Yeah, I believe it. And I'm more than happy to pay for Hulu. I would be more than happy to pay for the non-commercial version. And we're to the point technologically where we can just say, you can pay to not have us advertise to you. Because you're paying what we'd be getting from advertisers. I agree. That's fine. Yeah. And we got to figure that out. Yep, I agree with that. Now, look, Star City Games is still going to show you creature collection stuff because that's what they make. Wizards is still going to show you an ad for the next set, like a Core 19 ad, because that's what they're making. But I'm talking about like supplementary advertising from other companies that basically the companies that are doing the stream or the coverage have sold ad spots to. And I think there's a way to figure it out. I don't know enough about this side of it to make a suggestion, but I also agree that that's something that eventually needs to
No, I
happen.
agree with that.
And I think a lot of people would have.
No, I agree. I agree.
The second thing that happens sometimes and sometimes does not is time walk matches or time walk coverage, which is a great name, obviously, because it's a magic pun, but it also makes sense. The best kind, just like our show, is that you basically watch twice as much magic, even though it's not live in the moment magic, but you're still watching live-ish because the people that are commentating on it are doing so in real time as far as they're concerned watching it for the first time. Those are great, and everyone wants that. I think people don't realize it takes literally double the staff, and it costs twice as much. And I'm not exaggerating. It literally costs twice as much to do. Because you can't just have, if you have Luis Scott Vargas and Paul Cheon commentating, you can't have them do the regular matches and then the time walk matches. That's too much for a person for the entirety of the day. Magic tournaments are really long. You and I do this podcast, and we talk for, an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it's a lot of talking, and that's like a fraction of what a day of coverage is. And they're reacting to other stuff. They don't have like a script. Like you and I have show notes that we're looking at, and we're making sure that we hit all these things to talk about. And they don't have that. They're just watching, have to be engaged, unless if you want it to be good. And then you have to do that for 8 rounds, 9 rounds.
Yeah.
And then cover all the time in between. Like, it's really hard. I would actually love a chance to do coverage sometime because I actually think that I could do it. That's neither here nor there. But the fact that it takes so much more effort from a staff and labor standpoint to do those is just something that people don't think about it.
No.
People don't think about it. And it's a very real cost because they're not robots.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll agree with all that.
You have another. You were talking earlier about. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll do it real quick. I was just gonna say the last thing I have here is sometimes the format is like I would say quote unquote stale, where it's like 2-3 decks. I think it's important to try to have varied decks on coverage, round 1, round 2, round 3 before they get demolished or snow. Like obviously some brews make it, but most brews tend to not make it against the best decks. I think it's important to showcase those early on because later all you're gonna see is like Delver's Delver or whatever or whatever. Like show those decks. It's sweet when they go off, and because at the end of the day, we're mostly gonna see the top tier decks that are known about see play. So if you have this, let's say like blue, like for Pro Tour, blue green Karn, show more of that. Just like that would be the first deck I showed or on camera.
Yeah. I think it's I don't know. See, I have a different opinion than other people that I've talked to in that where coverage is their job. I believe that more people care about the decks that are being played rather than the people that are playing them. And I think there is a misnomer for a lot of people that do coverage that are like, no, it's more important to build up the people and follow them. Yeah, but look, I'm going to use Tom Ross as an example because it's the lowest hanging fruit. There are people that are Tom Ross fans, but there's only so much red small creature aggressive deck or white small creature aggressive deck or blue or green small creature. He just doesn't play black, does he? I think that's why. I think I have to figure it out. It's every color but black. That's just like, well, this is the same style of deck every time. And yeah, people like to watch him, especially because he's a good player. But man, so few people are like, oh man, I want to play Magic because of this person. That they might want to get better because of a person, because of a player they're watching. But no one's like, oh man, this guy, I like how his face looks, so I'm gonna watch him. They're like, oh no, I like this deck.
Absolutely, yes.
I like this deck, and I think I can do this. I want to build this
1,000 times,
play this.
I think
that's more important.
For everybody,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trust me, as someone who, so like I said, the coverage part is on my side, but we've had meetings about this. What do I want to see on coverage? I want to see the stuff that's going to make people buy cards that they haven't bought yet.
Speaking of which,
Name a card. Name a card that does it here. Cabal Stronghold? Yeah, I want to see that on coverage. I want to see that crush something one round on coverage. And then I want to go look and see how many Cabal Stronghold they sold. Yeah. And you know what? That's a great crossover because I want to see that professionally and personally too. And I'm not just talking about Cabal Stronghold. I want to see the cool stuff and the stuff that doesn't get played all the time. I want to see that stuff win because Magic's more fun when it happens. And I love Magic.
And what's crazy is like there's been multiple times, recently I guess, where I've played a sweet deck and I've made top 64, top 32, even top 16, or even top 8, where my deck wasn't showcased at all. And I'm playing like a brew, or I'm playing like a spicy list. People are like, "Oh, come get the deck list," blah blah. And it's like, this would have been a great one to give a deck tech on or feature match on. And like in the past, I feel like almost every tournament I attended, I'd get one or the other because let's be honest. Like I very rarely play a deck that's known about.
You're not playing the stock.
Yeah.
List, whatever.
Yeah, so I'd always get like feature somewhere, or
even when you should.
Sure,
you're still not playing.
Yeah,
and we love you for that.
Yeah. So people like love seeing my decks, like
except for round 4 of that last.
So people, anyway, people love that, and like it's at the point now where like that doesn't happen anymore. And then even when I am playing a sweet list, like on freaking camera, like a team event, like I'm not even showing, and like honestly, like that is starting to bug me. Like there's people in Twitch chat saying, "Hey, show Ollie's deck. Hey, show Ollie's deck. Show Ollie's list. Show Ollie's match." And
as we've discussed, Twitch chat hates everyone.
Yeah, it does hate everyone. Yeah, and I've literally gone back and watched like our team matches. Like we've had like a handful of them be featured, and every time I played like some sweet decks in standard or modern,
it's always me. It's always me or the modern player.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah. It's like, and I'm shown 0% of the time. 0%. That's mind-boggling. Like, guys, why? It's good for everybody. But anyways, I digress, but that bothered. That obviously rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Like, and one more thing. I don't, this is, man.
Come on, out with it. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You already said you're going to say one more thing. And don't apologize. Don't say you're sorry. Just say what you're going to say. Just shut up.
All right, this has happened a lot more at SG events after Nick Miller became the person that does deck decks or whatever.
Oh, no. See, I wasn't going to tell you to say
that. I said it. It's the truth. Beforehand, it used to be Glenn Jones a ton of times, and before that...
Dude, that's a
very long time ago. Before that, it was somebody... I can't remember the person's name, but...
I remember all of the people because they're my
good job. Thank you. I'm just saying, maybe that's a low blow for me, but it's the truth. It's literally the truth.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, it is.
And I'm glad I said it. I'm glad I got that off my chest.
You got it off. You got it off your chest. Yeah, I don't. As someone who, I wouldn't say that I'm good friends with Nick, but I'm saying we're friendly enough.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think it's Nick.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I
think there might. I think you might see that correlation, but I don't think that's the case.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense too. Like, and I'm not saying I dislike Nick. I'm just saying like, at all. Like, I like Nick. I don't even know Nick on like on
sure,
a personal level.
It did just sound like
no, it's no.
When, like moments
I'm just saying that like, I think it has shifted from like the new deck, the new brew to people's names or people's teams. Like. No, exactly what's happened. Like, team, whatever is on feature match. Like, they're.
I mean, I've already shared my feelings about that.
That's what it is, and that's what it's geared toward. Like, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not Nick. It probably is Nick. Actually, if you're saying that, I know it's true because you work for Star City. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Exactly. So, anyways, we won't go into that.
That was called a hint.
Yes, a hint. Sure. So we'll go into that, but like. I'm not gonna lie, man. That stuff hurts. Like it hurts me. So like it sucks because like.
Look, I don't want to be. Every time we're on coverage, it's like I'm getting my face beat in, and they're like, "Let's check it on Justin Parnell. Oh, he has one card in his hand, and his opponent's at 468 life. He's got countertop and play. Jace is on 11. Justin has unflipped Delver of Secrets. Let's see what happens.
I think he might lose one, Bob. That's Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually what happens. That's the last.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Anyway, they came in. I had a feature mask at SCG. Well, actually, I had like 5 feature masks at SCG Con because I actually was doing well. But my one that made it like where I was, because like all the other backup camera matches, I never made it.
Yeah.
Like 2 camera. So the one that did was when we were. There was like 90 seconds left in the round, and there was a 0% chance we could finish the game.
Mm.
So we just immediately just like time out. It's like I was playing Raff it up against, of course, Esper Control, and I was like, well, that was great. There's me on coverage. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
There it happens. It's fine. I've had it happen to me too, where I'm playing a Sweet Brew, have this awesome like combo or interaction. I get featured, it's against mono red, and I'm just dead. And people are like, what does it always like do? And later, I'm in the top 16 or top 8.
It dies to mono red.
95% of my decks died to mono red.
95. That's a fair. That's fair.
Yeah. There's some brews that beat it, but most of them die to it. So yeah.
All right, Ollie, you ready?
Yeah, this is a long one too. Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Okay. All right. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we're not gonna talk about this week's Magic story, but we have other story circle stuff to talk about, so we will take a quick break and be right back. So, Ollie, neither of us have read this week's Magic story because they decided to drop it on us randomly without telling us ahead of time.
Yeah. They dropped a bomb on us.
You like using the drop a bomb on us phrase.
I dropped a bomb on you. Or you dropped a bomb on me, baby. It's a song, man. It's a song.
You know, I get
it's oldies. It's oldies.
I get it. It's not that old.
It's pretty old.
I mean, it's old, but it's not. Anyway, we're getting off. So we had decided this week to discuss not this week's Magic story because again, it kind of just popped up. So we'll get to that next week and kind of just go from there. But you and I wanted to talk about what we think is going to happen over the course of this Core 19 story.
All right, here's what I predict. We are going to see Ugin side of the story.
Okay, not a prediction, but that's fine.
And let me finish. There's Sassy Pants.
Yeah, I did.
No, I didn't
You
finish.
spend more time talking to me to not talk than talk.
We're going to see Ugin, and we're going to see how conniving and how not good he is at all. Like, we've gotten small hints here, and we've like you and I have picked up on it, but I think we're going to see deeply how much he plans and how much he plays people, almost as much as Bolus, I think. And hopefully we'll see what his plan is. You know, I can't imagine his plan is literally just to stop Bolus. He has to have some other plan.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see that, and I hope we see it in this story arc.
Yeah, so for the things that we know is that this story is going to be focused on the overarching Bolus and Ugin storyline. It's going to be set across time. It's not going to be necessarily in the present. I'm sure some of it might be, but a lot of it's going to be kind of in the past as their paths cross leading up into now. So, I agree. I think people forget when we get so caught up in Bolus because he's like the big bad guy. I'm putting quotes around that. That we forget that Ugin has some sort of plan. We know Ugin wants Bolus dead or gone. We don't even know that he wants him dead. We just know that he wants him out of the picture.
Yes, and his reasoning is he's a threat to the multiverse.
Yeah, but again,
that's his reasoning.
What does that?
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
All we know is that Bolus wants his power back.
He wants his pre-mending.
He wants
power.
His mojo back, but
his groove that he lost along with Stella.
Thank you. So, besides that, like I never heard of him talking about like world domination or multiverse domination. I think he just wants to be restored to his former glory.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean that much is obvious.
I
But
don't think. I don't think. I don't think he has much more than that, really. Like, I mean, obviously he might have like some plans, but I don't think he's like trying to take over the multiverse or anything crazy.
I don't know. But why? I don't know. I kind of think that he is. I think he wants that power for something. He doesn't just want it so he can just have it.
Well, I mean,
That's not Bolus's MO.
I mean, sure, but I mean, like, if I knew I had a former strength of power, and I'd lost it because of some thing, and I could get it back if I did this other thing, I don't want to get it back. Like like, let's say like, okay, sorry, maybe that was confusing.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's say I had
Explain.
Let's say I had powers, okay? Then I lost my powers. I'd want to get my powers back just for the sake of having my powers back, if nothing else. Sure, but
Bolus is a really bad dude that before he had his powers was a terrible, terrible thing.
Sure. Well, I'm just saying.
I don't think it's just for the sake of wanting his powers.
I agree with you.
I think that's naive.
I agree with you. Chill. I'm just saying that, like, that alone is reason enough for me to want to get my powers back or get my mojo back.
You're agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Stella, who got it back.
Did she?
That's what the movie title suggests, Ali. Okay, I don't make the rules. I'm just here to tell you.
Maybe Bo should have watched that to learn from Stella, and copy her to get his power back.
Google searches
how
to get Groove back. Oh, there's a documentary about exactly this.
Do you think he asked Jeeves or Google?
I think he's a Google.
Yeah, probably is.
I think Ugin probably uses Bing.
Fair enough. All right.
He's like, I want to be different.
All right. So
these search results will be pure.
So,
no one uses this.
So what do you think? We'll see.
Well, we other than that, we know based on the packaging of the Core 19 booster packs that we have 5 Planeswalkers in the set. Other than, of course, Ugin and Bolus, but 5 kind of gigantic dragon, elder dragon.
So we have Ajani Goldman.
A Johnny. We have Johnny
Gold.
We have Tezzeret.
Oh, why are you butchering his name? Why are you butchering his name like that?
Look,
Ajani Goldman. Tezzeret. I don't think I have a full name for him. Which one is his name is Tezzeret. Then we have Lillian. Then we have Sarkhan. Then we have Vivin. That's it.
What was...
So, Ajani, Tezzeret, Lillian, Sarkhan, and Vivin.
What I don't... I hope our listeners think that this is fun.
I hope so too.
I hope at least you do. I'm glad you're getting enjoyed now.
Maggins is funny.
So that leads me to believe we know that Vivian Reed, which is the new Planeswalker, is a kind of a mashup between Nissa and Garrick. It seems like.
Side note.
It's like her
card sucks.
Her. I don't think it
it's
sucks.
worse than Nissa Battle Force. And that card season almost not will play. But anyways, OC play.
Is it just worse? You just think it's worse? I think they're wildly different cards. They do entirely different things.
You're getting off topic, Parnell. Let's get back on topic.
I was literally getting ready to talk about the card, so I was on topic.
Oh, were you?
I think, yes, and you interrupted me to tell me to get back on topic. So I'm going to keep going.
Okay, go.
Vivian Reed, which is a mashup of every Green's Planeswalker we've seen before, which is fine. It's really not exciting. It's not an exciting card. But she has a lot of fun flavor text on other green creatures that we've seen so far in the set. So, I don't know. We'll kind of see what happens with her, but she's going to be our mono green Planeswalker for Core 19. We know Johnny is going to be white. He's always been white. It's the only color he's always been in all of his cards. We know Liliana is black. Sarkhan has been primarily red, so I imagine we'll see a red Sarkhan, which leaves Tezzeret as blue.
Johnny's been red, white, and green, white.
Yes.
You said he's been mostly white. All white.
Yes. You just said he's been green, white, and red, white. What did you say both times?
Right. He's been white, but he's also been other colors too. He's been Boris and.
I didn't say he hasn't. I just said he's been white.
Oh my god! All right, keep going.
That is what that makes
It
sense.
does make sense.
What color has a Johnny? What color?
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Here's a question. What color has a Johnny been on every single one of his cards?
Oh my god! Tangent.
It's not a tangent. You interrupted me to say something
Boris.
wrong. Tezzeret has been blue on every single one of his cards. Well, he's got black on it too. Yeah, I know, but it seems like from the way it seems like the way that all of these are lining up. We have a white Johnny, a blue Tezzeret, a black Liliana, a red Sarkin, and a green Vivian Reed.
Guys, if he does this to me as his best friend, just be careful of double crossing Parnell. He'll make you sound like
not double. It's not double crossing.
He'll make it sound like
a lot of people watch me on Commander Versus. They know this is well within my.
He'll make you sound like a big nerd. I will cast my lightning bolt to your face. Like no one sounds like that.
Are you trying to say people that play Burn are nerds?
No,
because no one else would cast a lightning bolt
mouth
to the
breathers,
face.
Not nerds.
Wow, shots fired.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
With a lightning bolt to the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn one sorcery.
God, that's the worst. Because
anyway, you're getting off tangent. See how easy it is.
But real quick. But when that happens, you 100% know you've lost the game. That's it.
Yeah, you lose immediately. I was like, well, that's it.
Yeah, we're dead.
Better spend my brain power thinking about sideboarding for this next game.
Anyways, go ahead. Oh god.
So we know that 2 of these planeswalkers specifically are for Bolas, right?
Yeah, work for Bolas.
We know that Tezzeret and Liliana. We know one, Ajani, is specifically against him. And Sarkin, we know, is kind of aligned with Ugin.
Yeah.
And specifically against Bolas as well. Maybe not. No, Sarkin and Johnny know each other because they're like the Legion of Smart Planeswalkers with Tamio and Narset. So Sarkin and Johnny are on the same side, and then Vivian is. We don't know much about Vivian yet, other than she really likes dangerous animals and getting close to look at them.
Yeah, she has the. I can't remember.
She's got a lot of Steve Irwin.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see that we have I think it's fun to really have multiple bad guys in the same set.
Yeah, even though one's almost forced.
Yeah, Liliana's still forced, but she's still going to be operating as an
agent of Bolas, basically.
An agent, yeah, lowercase, but yeah. So I think that's going to be fun, and I'm interested to see, because I think that these are going to be all monocolored, because it just makes the most sense.
Oh, I agree with you, yeah. And of course, absolutely.
Yeah, for a core set specifically. What a mono blue Tezzeret's going to look like, because his character, from a Vorthos perspective, is very black. Now,
yeah,
he's very blue. He's firmly Dimir, and he's not really mono blue. So that doesn't mean he can't have actions or kind of this arc in the story that's very mono blue. Maybe he's kind of maybe he's research based. Maybe. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I agree.
Obviously, he's going to deal with artifacts. So, just to keep an eye out for that for people playing Standard, since there's plenty of artifacts, and if he's good, then
rest in
there's good artifacts. But I think that we're not going to. One of the questions we've wanted answered for a while is something that we had talked about at the beginning of Dominaria's story that we thought we were going to get answered and then didn't. Is the Raven Man. And who the Raven Man is.
We never saw much of him. We didn't see
No, he popped up that one time and then he kind of vanished. But we actually had a listener, Ben, email the show, and he said, so you guys talked about the Raven Man, and then you have actually had a question of the week of who we thought the Raven Man was. Ali had said that he thought the Raven Man was a character that we know, and I thought the Raven Man was a character that we don't know. And then the next week, I was like, actually, I thought about it, and I think Liliana is actually the Raven Man. Like, Liliana in her mind is the Raven
Yeah, you just think it's all in her head.
I think it's all in her head. And I still definitely maintain
Yeah.
that, for sure. So, Ben wants to know if Liliana is the Raven Man, and who is right.
Who
I say it's a wash.
who is right?
Yeah, but for the question
Oh,
of the week.
okay.
And I say it's a wash because obviously it is a character we know, kind of, but it's not. That's when you said it's a character we know, you didn't mean Liliana. You meant an auxiliary character.
I'm right.
What do you mean? What are you for? You definitely did.
I mean, I don't know. It is a character we know.
But that's not in the as Ben pointed out. That was not in the spirit of your answer.
All right. You know what? I'll say it's a wash too. Then I guess.
I'm willing to call it a wash, even though I think I don't know if there's a more definitive answer, but you certainly didn't think it's a Liliana because I was the one that promoted that, not you. So don't you take credit for it in your answer.
But I'm right.
What do you?
What?
Who's
I didn't say
right?
anything.
Who do you think the Raven Man?
I mean,
is?
I think it's a wash.
Who you think the Raven Man is a wash? Is a washer?
Yep.
Like a dryer?
Yeah. No. A washer
Okay.
like the little thing. It's like the little metal piece.
Like a hand washer, like they did like the 1800s.
No, like a washer, like a whatever. It's like a little metal piece, like a nickel.
And like a nickel.
Anyways, moving on.
A washer that goes on the side of like a bolt.
Yeah.
To prevent it from rubbing against something.
Is that called a washer?
Yeah. Oh, they're excellent explanation, Ali.
Is that called
for making sure we all knew what you were talking
That's called a washer, right?
Yeah, but see, washers are a lot of different things, and I have now described all of them.
Welcome.
History lesson for everyone, in case none of you knew what a washer was.
Yeah, welcome to America. English language.
Welcome to America, where we don't know what words mean.
Well, we have there, wash, washer. Okay. Anyways, keep going.
So what else do you want to see for this story?
Well,
beyond, you want to see Bolus and Ugin. You want to see.
I want to see.
Ugin.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of Bolus's minions. We've seen some of their story. Like we've seen there's literally a story on Tezzeret in his background. We know Liliana works for Bolus. We know some of her story. We know some of Ralzeric's story too. But as far as Ugin has to have minions, right? Like we know Sarkin is, and it's crazy because like he's portrayed as a good guy. Like Ugin is portrayed as like quote unquote good guy, and
yes and
right.
no. It's because he's been
fighting
aligned with the Gatewatch in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Which I think points him out to be a good. It makes him like the perception of a good guy, but I actually don't think he's been specifically aligned as that.
But I'm saying like Sarkin is a good guy from my eyes.
Sarkin is a good. Sarkin's a good guy. I completely agree.
He employs, I think, people that are good deep down. Like I think Soren is a good guy, and in the long run, like if Soren had to make a choice between being make him bad or good, I think he'd pick the good choice. He'd be a good guy.
Ultimately, yes. Ultimately,
and same with Nahiri.
Okay. So I agree with you to an extent, but I'm kind of looking at it differently.
Okay.
I think Ugin chooses to work with people that will trust him unconditionally.
Right, that's
oftentimes that aligns with them being good.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I want to see like his quote unquote minions and know more about them and why they're siding with Ugin and like what Ugin's thinking, what they're thinking. Like that's what I want to see.
I think it's because Ugin is like looked up upon because he's wise and old
and tall.
Think about well, obviously tall. Ollie, I didn't need to say that. Everyone likes tall people.
Well, people you do,
and people with really really specific small chin beards.
Absolutely.
Which Ugin also, that also goes without saying, but you made me say
he also made his own magic.
He did.
Yeah.
So, think about Azor, too.
Oh
who
my god, poor Azor.
worshipped Ugin.
What?
He like said it was like his friend, but really like looked up to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like,
And Ugin basically, literally, just like he's
wipe
done
the floor with him.
but he's treated every other planeswalker he's worked with as a means to an end. They're not his associates; they're his pawns.
Absolutely, just like Bolus.
But Bolus is different because he's very upfront about it.
He is, yeah. He's not sneaky, I guess.
He's not. Bolus is obviously secretive and sneaky, but he's never made anyone believe that they're on the same level as he is. He always makes it clear that he's the one in charge and he's the one that's kind of pulling the strings, right? Ugin's done the exact opposite. And he wants people to believe that, like, oh, no, we're all in this together. We're all a team. You guys aren't doing what I want you to do. You're doing what all of us want you to do.
Yeah.
But we know that's also BS. So, like, I mean, we've pointed out before, we think Ugin and Bolus are very similar. It's just that, I don't know, actually,
like,
I mean, I think it's
between
worse
those two.
Ugin
I was about to ask you, between those two, what's worse, the upfront Bolus or the hidden?
Well, you're choosing between the dragon you know and the dragon you don't. Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think Ugin is a pretty not good guy, as you also do, and hopefully through this story, we see some of our other characters that are good guys, like Sarkin, see that.
Yeah.
And it kind of paints Ugin in a light that's probably more realistic to what his actual goals are.
I agree.
Which we still don't ultimately know.
Hopefully we learn in this arc, because I hope we learn a lot about them before we go into Ravnica and for the fight. So.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna. Because I don't think Ral Zarek is probably not going to show up. No, obviously Ral Zarek is going to 100% show up at Ravnica story.
Yeah.
We got a little ways before that, so it'll be interesting to kind of see. Hopefully, we see some past and other planeswalkers or beings that Ugin has worked with, and kind of what's become of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's not really the only who are Ugin's associates from the past at this point. Azor got his mind wiped.
Yep.
Sorin stuck in stone. Nahiri.
He's angry still. I don't know what she's doing.
Presumably back on Zendikar. Yeah. Presumably.
Those are all the old ones.
Sarkin, we know we're going to see him in this story, so that question will get answered. And I guess that's it of known Planeswalker associates that he's had, other than the Gatewatch, which we know about, and they're more loosely associated.
Yeah, and it's crazy because poor Sarkin, he's been manipulated by Ugin and by Bolus.
Bolus and
tormenting voices on both arts.
He's just too trusting. Sarkin, he just wants to be around some cool dragons.
He does, man.
You gotta respect that from Sarkin.
You do. He wants some dragon love.
He just wants to be a cool dragon really bad.
Have you noticed that though? He's been tormented both by Ugin and Bolus, and tormenting voice. I think. Yeah.
Has he? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Hold on. Oh, you're right. Yeah, tormenting voices. One is Sarkin. One's Ugin. You're right. Yeah, never mind. I'm wrong.
Yeah. Either way, he's clearly been tormented by both.
Yes.
Whether it's on tormenting voice or not.
Correct.
Okay. So, just to recap, we're going to be starting the Magic story that started this week, next week, and kind of go from there. So, from here on out, we're kind of going to be a week behind, but obviously, these aren't necessarily time sensitive, so it should be fine. We're going to make sure we have enough time to digest it and really think about it and give you guys enough time to get invested in the story as much as you possibly can before we kind of toss it up on the podcast. So I guess this kind of worked out for the better just because, it's not like we're not going to find out the end of the story on the cards anyway, right?
That's true.
So who are we really getting ourselves ahead of?
Nobody. You'll see.
Yep. Okay, Ali, anything else on guesses for this Core 19 Magic
No,
story?
but soon we'll have to after I see more cards, like you said.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. We will be forced to. Thanks,
Yep.
Wizards. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to be talking about what movie Ollie made me watch that I'd never seen before and give my report on it. We'll be right back.
So, I made you watch Other Life. This is kind of a take on like Inception, almost like.
Yeah, the movie is called Other Life on Netflix.
Yes, it's one word, Other Life. It's on Netflix. It reminded me of Inception. It reminded you of, you said,
a very, very Black Mirror-y.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Except they're Australian, not British.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Sure. Yeah, for me it was very like Inception based because it has to deal with the mind and not necessarily sleep, but same chemicals almost. You kind of in a sleep state.
I think we can kind of say the synopsis. There's a woman that has developed a kind of a chemical that allows you to have experiences in your mind,
and
that are very realistic and lifelike.
Yeah, and they're very vivid. They're very, so you can basically, like, if you want, you can learn a new language in your mind, and then.
Or you could use this, and it's like a little eye droplet, and you could go snowboarding.
Yeah.
And it's like you have this experience of you snowboarding.
Yeah, and the experience is the same because the brain doesn't differentiate between real life experiences versus chemical experience. So
that's right. Which is obviously why memories get fuzzy, because it's really easy for you to trick your brain into remembering something else. So this is kind of a chemical that encourages your brain to identify these experiences as real, and they're like we said, they're very vivid.
Yes, and this is
obviously nothing can possibly go wrong with anything like this that has to do with chemicals changing your brain.
Of course,
right?
Nothing goes wrong. Wrong.
So, well, I don't want to get into spoilers yet. So I talked to Ollie about the rating system, and I want to just move from 1 star to 5 star.
Lame.
Ollie, you are free to call them whatever you want. I think it's just easier. I like this better because it's simpler for me and probably simpler for the listeners. So, you watched this movie before.
I have.
This is something you watched before. I watched it this week.
Yeah.
So, I guess you tell me what your rating of this movie is.
If we go by star rating, I'd give it a 4.
You can go by whatever rating you want. You just make sure you let people know what the star rating is afterwards.
Wife makes me a loaf of bread. 4 stars. This is I would give it same as Deadpool 2. And I think a big push for me is it's a Netflix movie, so like I feel like it's unfair for me to completely judge it on every other movie. Like their budget's obviously smaller. It wasn't like in theaters, but if I were to take away that, I would give it the Meatloaf tier, which is 3 stars. Ready Player One, but my final rating is 4 star because of what it is. I think the acting was good. I don't know none of the actors. I think it was good. I think what the budget was obviously small, and what they did with it was a lot. So I'm gonna give this 4 stars.
I agree that they did a pretty good job with what they. I have no idea what the budget was, but obviously, like you said, this is a movie on Netflix, and it's a movie for Netflix. This wasn't like a wide release film. I'm gonna not take that into consideration though, and kind of just judge it by its own metrics. I liked this movie, and I think that the conversation it asks you to have after the movie is better than the movie itself. The film itself, I'm going to give a 3, but I think the questions that it's asking you is a 5.
Dang, son. So
But
over.
the movie itself is
average
just
4.
the movie. No, the movie is a 3.
Okay.
I'm giving it 3 stars. The film itself, because I think it's just fine. I think the acting is fine. I think the plot itself, and we'll get more into this in spoilers, is not. It didn't really throw me for a loop with anything, but the world they've created is very, very good, and is definitely worth talking about. So I'm ready to get into spoilers because I want to talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah, let's go.
You ready to get in? Okay. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Okay, we're now in spoilers officially. Okay, where to begin? I guess I'll start since I'm the first one. Since I watched this for the first time. So, Sam is Ren's business partner.
Yes, and he is all about that moolah.
So, that's the thing. I think Sam's plan, like initially, is 100% right. And everything he was saying about it is absolutely correct. If you are trying to get funding for your company, and you have this option to be completely funded, because the vision of what you wanted your company to be doesn't match up with what someone is offering you, I think it's insane to not explore that. And Sam makes the absolute best business decision in trying to go down that path, and Ren is just very against it because, as we find out, her reason for wanting to do this is because she wanted to see if she could wake her brother up from a coma.
Yeah, her goal is completely different than. She's very adamant. Is the word adamant? Adamant. Yeah, adamant.
Adamant.
Yes, about not doing. Like exactly, like her goal is to wake her brother from coma or whatever he's in. So, and she's not looking to make a ton of money off this. Like that's not her.
Yeah, but the thing is, she went into business with this person, and she did not tell him any of this going in.
That's true.
I would say she is a much like now. Obviously, they go out of their way to make Sam look like a douchebag, whether it's in the kind of the dream sequence when he's obviously a douchebag, and then afterwards where they go out of their way again to make him a douchebag. Like, it's clear that he's the antagonist of this film, but they like force him into that role. If you remove like what happens at the very end when he like forces her to go back in,
that was.
He literally has done, up until that point he did nothing wrong. Everything else that he did wrong was imagined from Ren.
Yeah, him forcing that was
no, that's
1,000%.
Terrible. It's foul.
Yeah, I think it's
no. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. But I'm just saying, up until that point, like, no, she is the bad partner in this business.
Well, because she came in like without everything on the table. I guess she was definitely like hiding stuff from the table. Yeah,
his plan. He's like, man, my goal is to make our business successful. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're like, my mind would be blown if like I was like working with a partner on something and they were just like, yeah, no, I don't. That's not my vision. Is not to make money. It's like, no, the thing is, she can still do what she wants. That was not off the table. Like, that wasn't being removed. It's just another component was being added that would allow her to do what she wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think that's ridiculous. I was just like, yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Honestly, if this is gonna, because obviously this is a world changing concept, right? If this were to exist,
yeah, of course,
it's gonna spiral out of your ability to control it inevitably, and you should take advantage. You should take advantage of that and try to control that as much as possible. It's just like if you have anything that is used for its non-intended purpose, the more that you can control that, not only the more money you're going to make off of it, but the better you're going to have your identity tied up with the product that you're creating rather than someone else, which would have to take it and twist it. And I know she's like juxtapositioning herself to be on the opposite side. Like she's on like the emotional artsy side where Sam is on like the business and production side, which in theory like makes them good partners, but they're clearly not on the same page. What's up with that? They didn't have this discussion like well before. Sam should have brought this to her a lot sooner, but maybe he didn't want to because he knew that she would just say no because she's been like secretive and kind of unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the secret part is the biggest part. Like she.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, but.
And he even brings up, he's like, you've been using like your company time, like how many thousands of hours have you been testing this that you could be working on our product? And then she's like, well, you have been going behind our back trying to make money for the company.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Are you like, are these two things the same? Like he's complaining because you're wasting company time and wasting money, and you're complaining to him because he's trying to make more money for you and the company.
Well, for them,
and enact your vision.
For him too, not only the church. It's obviously for him too. He wants.
Well, for the company. I mean, they're partners though. When they share the company.
Yeah, they do.
It's not like he was going to get more money than her.
No, it's equal.
That we know specifically that was all in her head. That she thought that, because when she goes into this, like this coma, the 1 minute coma prison sentence, and she breaks out, which I'll get to in a second. She created the concept of what he had become in her head. Now, when she comes out of it, it turned out to be correct. But up until that point, we'd not seen it exactly. So, also, you can't wake up from that and then punch him in the face because you didn't like something. That's like if you and I have a dream,
you wake up,
or I have a dream and
me.
you do something crappy in the dream. Yeah, exactly. And I'm mad at you. That's so unreasonable. That's entirely unreasonable.
I've seen that happen, though. I've seen it happen, but it is unreasonable.
Yeah, sure. I've seen it happen, and it's unreasonable.
Absolutely.
It's entirely unreasonable.
Absolutely. Of course.
And it's even more unreasonable in a professional setting, which is what they were.
No.
Sorry, I thought I interrupted you.
Were
you going to say something?
No, I was just thinking.
So, the other issue that I had is this movie set its own rules and then broke them. Because they made it very clear that all of these things that they're identifying in these little trips that they have when you use other life is done strictly by code. And if something goes wrong, the code is corrupt or something is missing, then reality, as they're understanding it in their brain, starts to break down. Things start to get overlaid on each other. Things become very unclear. Yeah. They spend actually a pretty good amount of time showing this and talking about this. And then when Ren is serving her prison sentence, something happens to where her mind creates the rest of this scenario that no one wrote. This was not written.
Yes. She basically is able to rewrite the code in her mind.
And then create this fantastical dream that she is going on. But they've also made it clear that that's not something that can happen. When that starts to happen, when someone's mind starts to kind of go out of the realms of what the code is, because she talks about code a lot. And even when she goes back in the second time because Sam smears the other life in her eye, she's like, it's just code, it's just code, it's just code, and she can manipulate it. But she can only manipulate within the constraints of the code that's been created. There's not this secret code where she's created this entire world and filled it with thousands of people and scenarios. It's the world that she saw that was apparently created by her random brain. Obviously this is possible in a dream, but specifically when you're under the the influence of other life, this is not something that exists. Like they clarify this in the movie, and then they break their own rules.
Yeah, like I guess it kind of makes sense, but she also is, like she's also like maybe it's different for someone that can code, but it's written.
No, I completely disagree.
Okay.
Because the code is in when they're producing the chemical. It's not like her brain is not coded in that way. I mean, it is, but it's only it's a reaction to the other life that people are taking. And I was like, I never believed that she wasn't in the like still in the like under the other life like coma, or I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like because the first time she's put in, she's able to like somehow hack the code, right? And
yeah,
basically like the wall.
Yeah, when she's in the other life simulation, yeah, she goes AWOL. But it's like,
yeah, but
okay, so you're telling
at the same
me
time she's able to like
speed through it and like basically realize she's like, oh, well, my brain just knows this isn't real. This is just code. But she also knows that every single time she takes it, because like in the beginning when she's doing the snowboarding thing, when she does it like the second and third day, she like gets up and like sighs. She's like, oh, I'm still in this.
Yeah.
But it's unreasonable to me to believe that she thought that she was actually like not in a simulation in like a real life containment facility, because one, you're telling me that someone reset all of your food and water and your little boogie board. You know she had a boogie board?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the notepad was a boogie
nice.
board. And someone reset that every day, had to come into your room because the boogie board was reset on the little pad while you were sleeping facing the giant screen, and you never woke up. You slept for the exact same amount of time every day. You never woke up to any noise. Are you serious? That's extremely unreasonable. Also, her makeup never changed for the entire 365 days. She had it during her duration of being in the simulation.
Well, sure. I mean, that's
no. But when, like, through that entire simulation, she had it, and then when she got out, and she like was going through, because there's a point when she meets her like friend with the red hair. She still looks exactly the same as when she went in, and she's shown in other parts of the movie as looking different. So I don't know. That was like that one showed it pretty clearly to me.
Yeah, it definitely contradicts itself, I think. Maybe it's the thing of small movies, or when you get like complex things like this. It's also true of movies with like when you have time travel, it gets messy. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I think it's very similar. But overall, I think the concept, the idea of the movie was very new, very cool, and very like they could have gone very far with this. And I think I agree with your assessment of like talking about it as like 5 stars, because the movie itself could definitely have been 5 stars if it had like depending how they could have taken it. Like it could have been like the
I think they like in the movie they broke their own rules too many times, and the characters were pretty like they weren't really exciting. The concept of what was happening was really engaging, but it wasn't because of, I don't know. It wasn't because of what was happening on the screen. It was the idea they presented to me anyway.
Yeah.
Also, Rin was definitely like with her brother, right?
I don't know.
You don't look at someone like that that's your sibling. I'm just saying. I think something else is going on.
Huh. Interesting movie. It was an interesting movie. I don't know. It was like, again, it's one of those ones where it's either gonna be insane, like Inception / Westworld / whatever else, or it's gonna be like.
And I love Inception. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. And this is like it's very hard for a movie to like combat Inception and no one like destroy it. And I think this like did a decent job at like going.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
I'll
think
say it fell
I
short
think,
of Inception levels, but it's
well, sure, but
yeah.
yeah.
But still, like it's nice to see another one like that's similar to it in a way. In a way.
I mean, see, I don't see this was more Black Mirror-y to me than Inception because it like shows the dangers of
That's true.
this is like
That makes
technology.
sense, yeah.
So the dangers of future technology, and like I don't know. I don't think that this would be as tough of a sell as they're making it out to be. But because as far as I mean, I guess this kind of goes into like what does the government or like the EPA approve, or the like the drug administration approve for things that people take, because this is certainly a drug. And they were like Ren through the movie was arguing it's not a drug. It's absolutely a drug.
Oh,
It's a chemical
the alters the chemical
that induces an altered state of mind and changes your body chemistry
of course
in your brain. That is the literal definition of a drug.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how you could say that this isn't a drug when it. I mean, it has like. I mean, it's not hallucinogenic effects, but it's like brain simulation effects. Anyway,
anything I can take and die from, like a pill, is a drug.
Yeah. It literally puts you into a coma or make you have a seizure.
Yeah, it's a drug.
Yeah. I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Also, how stupid was that other guy? The guy that died. Dude, you can't just be like popping stuff into your eyes like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this again.
Oh my god.
Oh, these all look the same. They're probably just fine. I was like, yeah, well, that's Darwin effect right there. Congratulations.
Evolution.
When she came back out of the simulation, because in the simulation he didn't die.
Right.
And when he came back out of the simulation, she was like, well, he's dead. And he was like, oh yeah, he's definitely dead. I was going to be mad if he did not die. I was like, this guy's an idiot. He definitely deserved it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, what a moron. Don't put that in. She's the one that made it. Let her give it to you.
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when we know it's like a test thing. It's not like a.
Yeah, it's not done. It's not done.
Don't mess with that, man. People are crazy, man.
Stupid. People are stupid.
I'll try to be nice, but yeah, you're right. People are stupid.
I don't feel the need to be nice. I'm just gonna say it. And that guy was real dumb. That guy was extra.
He was. Let me just drop this whole thing. So I want to ask to do you think this was like a real life thing? Obviously, this is a stretch, of course. Do you think it's what's what I'm looking for? Ethical way to serve a prison sentence or lifetime, like you know some people get like 3 lifetime sentences or 4 lifetime sentences, and obviously they can't serve as a prison. They're in prison for life. Did I?
Yeah, because they die.
But this was. Do you think it'd be ethical to like have this and like if you have 4 lifetime sentences, you could definitely serve these and still get out of prison?
Yes, I 100% agree with that.
You think?
I could not possibly agree with that more.
Do you think it'd be like? Do you think it'd be like solitary confinement, or do you think it'd be like something else? Just like normal prison.
I don't think you could do solitary confinement.
That makes him crazy, I guess, right?
Yeah, but the fact that just from a cost standpoint and how costly,
yeah, that's true,
imprisonment is, the fact that you could just do this and it's over in like a minute, and you could just have 2 people, probably like 4 people, I guess, if you want to restrain the person, and they just go through this for an hour, however long it ends up being, and then wake up like they literally in their mind served that sentence, period, and it's done.
That's crazy. But you'd also have like addicts too that take it just to escape life in general. I mean, I think that this.
But that's going to be but isn't that the case?
Of any drug,
isn't that I mean, even not a drug. Even in my favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption, Morgan Freeman's character Red did not know what to do outside of prison and purposely like try to get himself to go back into prison or stay in prison.
Yeah, it's that thing of like life is just too confusing or too hard, and like something like this is just easy.
But that's gonna be the case with anything.
No, I agree with you.
But I
agree
think
with
as
you.
far as like,
especially a drug.
I mean, this is such a like the cost saving measure to this is insane.
Right.
Do you not think that people? Okay, I'll take someone who.
Okay,
I don't think anyone listening could disagree with this, but Larry Nasser, the person, the Michigan State doctor that molested like hundreds of young girls that were on the U.S. gymnastics and the Michigan State gymnastics team, and got served multiple life sentences, and obviously is not going to live out to do all of those. I don't think yeah, absolutely. If you're served that many life sentences, you should serve that many life sentences.
Yeah,
no question. Okay, I could go on about this movie for a long time, but I think it's probably a good stopping point.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Ollie, do you have anything else on other life?
No, I don't. I wonder if it's a technology or something like 1/10 of it will ever be a thing. Not our lifetime, but probably eventually, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe it will. It doesn't seem at this point. It doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, like people didn't think we could fly. Now we're flying like nothing. So yeah, I think it's possible too. Sometime.
I mean, in our lifetime,
maybe not.
In our lifetime, your teacher said you're not going to have a computer in your pocket
true.
or a calculator in your pocket at all times, and now you have a computer in your pocket. So.
That is true. That is very true. So we'll see.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll see. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, question of the week. So, Ollie, there's been a lot of talk recently, and not as recently, about Wizards' decision to continue the buy a box promotion.
Yes,
Now, last time for Dominaria, we had Firesong and Sunspeaker, which is largely a commander card. No one really expected that card to make waves in Standard or any other format that it was legal in outside of a casual format.
Right.
And a lot of people were up in arms about that. Go ahead.
No, I was say it was. I think that was fine. I think that was pretty sweet to do that. But this time, they printed a card that is playable in Standard, and it's a card that I can only imagine if they play it, they want 4 of them. Maybe they just want 2 if they like blue-white control. The card I'm talking about is, of course, Nexus of Fate.
Yes, which is a 7 mana, 5 blue, time warp. Take an extra turn after this one. It's an instant, and it says whenever Nexus of Fate would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, instead shuffle it into your library.
Yeah. So my answer for this question of the week is...
Well, we haven't asked the question.
Okay. Well, I think this card is obviously playable. I think if it was just 5 blue instant, when you take an extra up this one, exile Nexus of Fate, it was still playable.
Sure. So, question is the concept for the buy a box promo idea, where store exclusive, not in booster packs, promo card that is Standard legal, but the only way you can get it is buying a booster box at a local game store. Is this idea a mistake or not?
My answer is yes. It's because obviously, like the Fate, Nexus of Fate is a perfect example. This is a card that's a 4 of in some decks, and it's a very powerful card, and making it a promo is a problem. Not only is it only a buy box promo, it's also only in foil, and foils traditionally are not very good for tournament play recently. So that also hinders it. Like, I don't want to proxy my Nexus of Fate in a tournament when I play it. And even in the future, if they try to make an effort not to make a card playable in Standard, this will undeniably happen again in time.
Well, even if it doesn't, it's certainly going to happen this time.
Yes. And I think this is happening once or twice every so often it's hindering. Like, how much is this card going to cost? I don't know. But, like, at a certain point, if it costs, like, $15 or more, at what point is it worth it for me just to pre-order a box to get the card and sell a box? Like, I don't want to do that.
Well,
like, I don't want to do that. I just want to buy the card. I just want to buy the card and play the card.
Sure.
I don't want to have to go through a loophole, do this loophole, etc. because the card's
well, you
overpriced.
can still buy the card and play the card.
Right, but if it's like if it ends up being like a $20 card,
well, what do you mean ends up being? What is
or
ends up?
like a pre-order price for this card?
Okay.
Like, there's a threshold of this card being, like, where's the threshold of, when if it ends up being $15, $20, whatever, it's just worth it to buy a box instead, and then sell a box. Like, I think that's a problem. Like, I don't want to have to do that as a player. It's kind of making the Magic Online thing where I have to go to the freaking market and then find someone that buys my tickets to get this card.
I mean, I don't agree with you. I don't think you have. If you just want this card,
yeah, but
why would you pay $90 for a box at a store rather than paying, even if this card is $20? Why wouldn't you just pay $20 for the card?
Because I don't want to pay $80 for it, because I could just pre-order boxes and sell boxes for like 90 or whatever, 80, sell them back, or sit on them and sell them back. But I don't want to have to do that. And $20
you don't have to do that.
What I'm trying to say, Parnell, is at a certain point, Magic players are about value, and if you're paying 20,
yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that.
If you're paying $20 for a card, why are you just buying a box and selling the box back? Like, so if either you can pay $80 for a playset, or you can lose like $20 buying the box, all the boxes, and selling them back, and just taking the card.
What do you mean lose $20?
Because you're buying the boxes, and then you have to resell the boxes without the card, and potentially pay for shipping and handling.
So how much you would lose how much?
Probably $20.
Why would you ever do that? You just said the card's $20 and you would lose $20 by doing
because you're shipping 4 of them. Like, instead of paying $80, you're only paying $20.
Instead of paying $80, you're paying $80?
No, to ship box doesn't cost $20, Parnell. Ship all 4 boxes back costs like $20 or $25, even $30, whatever. It's still cheaper than paying $80 for a playset of Nexus of Fate.
Depending on what your time is worth, yes. I suppose that it is. It could be, in theory.
Yeah, okay. That's
my
angle.
Okay. So yours is this was a mistake.
Yes, it was a mistake.
And first of all, I'm gonna lead off by saying 2 things. One, I know I'm not gonna win this one. And that's okay. I want people to hear me out. And 2, I think just because this card may have been a mistake does not mean this concept is a mistake. So I'm going to say this was not, the buy a box promo idea is not a mistake because it did its job. Dominaria is, through Dominaria was the only way, through Dominaria, through a local game store, was the only way you could get Firesong and Sunspeaker outside of buying it on the secondary market. This is done specifically to fight against big box stores like Target and Walmart. And the answer could be, for some people, we'll just stop giving those stores product. Wizards makes a ton of money on making sure that people can buy booster boxes and packs from Target and Walmart. Period. Everyone's best interest should be aligned with Wizards. They make more money. They're going to make more stuff. Are they going to continue to make money off of you? Yes, but that's what they're doing. Okay, they're producing a product that we all like and that we all want to support. Ultimately, if we want to support our local game stores, this is an extra incentive for us to do that. I'm not saying this should be forced upon us, which is in this scenario with Nexus of Fate something that could be happening, but this did exactly what it was meant to do, which is put the buying power back to the local game store rather than big box stores. Wizards is trying to go out of their way to make sure that you're going to buy a box from a game store rather than Walmart.
Yeah.
Where it could potentially be less. They want those stores to make money because that's a valuable part of Magic as a whole, as the community. With this happening, if you can get a Nexus of Fate through an LGS versus through Walmart, which one would you choose if you're buying a box?
Of course. Local game store.
Of course.
Yeah.
It makes it simple. It makes it simple, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'll let you finish your statement.
Sure. The whole reason is, while players don't like this, the retailers that are selling the cards absolutely love this. They allowed them to purchase cards or purchase booster boxes during pre-release weekend prior to when you could normally do it, which is a week later. Sales for Dominaria, while obviously that set is exceptional, which we've talked about, like skyrocketed for these stores. This is exactly what you want. If you want to help grow the game, you need to be purchasing from your local game stores, but you need to be incentivized to do that, because obviously, if you are buying a box for $100 versus $85 at like a bigger box store, or packs that equal that, it's difficult to say, well, I'm not just going to donate $15 to my LGS, right? Like that would be ridiculous. Yeah. For anyone to say over, like you might do that 1 or 2 times, but over an extended period of time, over a year, 4 sets come out a year, you're not going to keep doing that, right? No, of course not. I wouldn't expect anyone to.
Like maybe
so this
like
this is a way that encourages you to do that, because it makes up that value with these cards. Now, the second thing I want to say is I think that putting a card at the power level they did of Nexus of Fate is probably not something they should have done. That doesn't make this idea a mistake. It makes their implementation a mistake. Firesong and Sunspeaker is a perfect example. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I think
it's totally fine.
I think they should do it like have the card in the set and then just make a promo alternate art, like the Birds of Paradise one. It was a beautiful, gorgeous Birds of Paradise when you bought a box.
Well, it wasn't just Birds of Paradise. They've done it for the last 6 years.
Sure, but I'm saying like make it a card. Make it a card you can open a pack. Like
8 years. Birds of Paradise for 8 years.
Sure. Also, but I don't really stick with a card that I only playing foil. Like I hate that. Like.
Yes, I understand.
Yes, so let me give me a way to acquire it in non-foil.
But that has nothing to do with the idea. It doesn't have to be a foil. They've just chosen it to be.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, having an exclusive card that you get through buying a box at a local game store, I don't think that idea is a mistake, because it's doing its intended effect.
I understand that. Yeah.
Which is encouraging people to buy through your LGS.
Maybe they think this card's bad. Maybe it is bad, but I think it's not.
Well, I don't think it is either, and that's why I think that I'm going to get crushed in this poll, because people are like, oh, Nexus of Fate, so of course it's a terrible idea. Yeah, that card in that slot is not a good idea.
No, not at all.
Put a different card in that slot. A card that's more like Firesong and Sunspeaker, that's not going to see any standard play for sure.
Yeah. Make
it a commander card. That's the most popular format anyway. Those are the people that are spending the most money on the game, are commander players.
Yeah, and they love foil cards and love foil commanders. So
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's as many people that don't like foils as do. But either way, on average, it is more likely for someone to want to get a premium version of a card that plays casually compared to not casual.
I agree.
I'll agree with that. So I'm still going to say no. The idea was not a mistake. However, Nexus of Fate inherently was. So I'm still going with no. When I post this on Twitter, it will still be on no.
Okay.
So just want you to know that I'm not hedging. I'm still saying no. But yeah, of course, Nexus of Fate, not a good call to put this card.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Ollie. Speaking of Twitter, where can people find you?
Twitter.com/Ali Aintrazi. Gathering Magic. My articles usually come out Friday. I'm skipping this Friday because of personal reasons, obviously, I've said earlier. You can find me at twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. And yeah, that's basically it. What about you, Parnell?
You can find me on Twitter at jparnell1. You can also find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commander Versus series every Wednesday, 11 a.m. We're nearing the end of the season, but it's heating up. And if you're a fan of things that I normally do that you like on Commander, I would encourage you to check out the next episode. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, ThinkTwiceMTG. And if you want to email the show, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to find the show on another platform other than the one you're listening to right now, SoundCloud's, again, only one SoundCloud. SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher. We'd love for you to like, share, subscribe, comment on there, leave a review if you can. Any of those things really help us kind of get our podcast out to more earballs, as I like to say.
Yes, all the earballs.
You're also able to support us by watching our streams on twitch.tv/thinktwicemtg. Now, I don't think either of us have streamed this week. You had personal issues going on. My house, as a lot of you know, have been going through a flooding saga. This is kind of getting resolved. All the carpet got put in.
What counter?
Yesterday.
What story counter is it on? What's the lore counter? Whatever it's called. The saga.
Oh God, I hope this is through.
Okay.
I really don't know though. It's hidden until everything gets done. But I'm just now. I literally set all my stuff back in my room up last night so I could record this podcast, but it's not quite ready. So I'm going to be out of town all next week. I'm still going to do the podcast. I'm going to be literally in Roanoke for about a 12-hour span, and I'm going to make sure to film Commander Versus and Think Twice in that 12-hour span. But outside of that, I will not be here, so there'll be no stream next week. But you can still catch us and replays on Think Twice, or on twitch.tv/ThinkTwiceMTG. You can also support us on patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. We have a lot of different reward tiers, including our $1 tier, which grants you early access to the show as well as Discord access. We have a lot of fun in our Discord channel. The most popular one for our Discord channel has been hands down the Animal Lovers channel, where everyone just posts pictures of their animals.
Yes, it's also awesome. So the variety's huge.
It's really great. It's real. This has been like the best. This has been the best.
Yeah, we've seen snakes.
I promise.
Dogs, cats, mice, rats.
Rats. I
Birds.
promise. There's a couple people that were like, yeah, I just wanted to join. I wanted to pay the $1, join the Discord for the Animal Lovers. It is. I promise you, it is worth it. Even just for that, we talk. There's a lot of magic talk and other stuff going on too. But just to see these pictures of animals is the best thing in the world. It's so great. It's so fantastic.
And Maggie's on there too.
We don't have any new Disciple of Bolus patrons this week, but we are going to start a new thing with the Discord. We're going to have a Discord Animal of the Week. And Ollie and I are going to alternate, but I wanted to start this one. It's our Discord Animal of the Week. We gave a shout out to a couple ones over the last 2 weeks. But this is an official new segment for the podcast. Discord Animal of the Week is Cora the Corgi. I'm going to give a shout out to Cora. Very photogenic, as a lot of Corgis are. And she is just freaking adorable. I'm looking at pictures of her.
Yeah, I see her.
Just fantastic. So, Cora the Corgi, you are our official Think Twice Animal of the Week.
Man, this...
We also... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but this is a great... There's so many animals. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we will have a new Discord Animal of the Week next week. I'll go get the thing.
Right.
Cora the Corgi, you are official Think Twice Animal of the Week this week. Okay, we want to give a shout out to our graphic designer Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. We also want to give a shout out to our director and producer John Choi. He is the man behind the curtain. He doesn't care if you look. You're not supposed to look behind the curtain, but you can. I'm giving you permission. It's fine. He probably won't like it, but I'm saying it's okay. He was at SCGCon with me, so a lot of you guys got to meet him. We also want to give a shout out to our Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, and Liam Whelan. Thank you guys so very much for all of your support. And Ollie, thank you. Thank you for being the best show, the best show's co-host for the show. You got that?
I think so. Thank you, Parnell, for being my best friend and just being there. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you. You've had a rough week. I'm glad we got to do this. Put out a show for you guys. Again, Ollie said he's like, I have to do it. Only for Think Twice.
Only for Think Twice.
I have to.
No other reason.
My people believe in me.
They do.
So, but we really, seriously, in all seriousness, obviously I'm Ollie's co-host, but he's my best friend, and it means a lot to me that you guys care for him to help him get through this, a time that is going to be very difficult, and being able to do this and kind of, you know, I don't want to say this is like an escape from real life, but
it helps. Doing this helps.
To do this show and then see all these, like, go on our Discord and see the animal pictures and all the positivity. Like, you guys are awesome.
I agree.
He shared some of the stuff with me, and it's. I'm not speaking for Ollie, but I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I of course appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. We really love you guys. You guys are the absolute best
fans.
Yep.
We are. I was saying we are a Thinktwice family now.
We are. If you want to be joined in the conversation for our pop culture segment next week, we are going to be watching. Speaking of family, we're going to be watching Incredibles 2, which I'm super pumped for.
I'm not so much pumped for it, but I'll watch it.
Oh, I'm super pumped. You take Aiden; he'll be pumped.
He will be pumped.
He will be pumped for sure. We're gonna take Parker and Levi, and we're gonna go this week. It's gonna be great. All right, thank you very much, guys. We love you very much. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.